And welcome to the Aaron Katsman Show. I'm your host, Aaron Katsman. Speaks about your life, your money, and your investments. And as always, we're coming to you from the spiritual and soon to be financial capital of the world, Jerusalem, Israel. If you like this content, please hit the like button below. If you've not yet done so, please subscribe to both the YouTube channel and to the podcast. And if you think somebody might find this of interest, why don't you go ahead and hit the share button and you can share it with them as well. So first, I'm going to start off with a public service announcement, and then we'll get into the show. I don't know if any of you have noticed. I noticed, and I was lazy, but I didn't investigate too much until I stumbled upon an article actually about 2 minutes ago when I was figuring out what it was I was going to speak about on the big podcast. Some of you may notice that on your Vanguard funds, for example, the most popular, the Vanguard Total U.S. Market Fund, there is a name change, and it's now called the Vanguard Morningstar Total Stock Market Index Fund. I noticed that the other day, and I was wondering about it. And Mike Piper of the Oblivious Investor, he succinctly writes the following. He says, in February of 2026, Morningstar bought CRSP, the Center for Research in Securities Prices, which until that point was owned by the University of Chicago. CRSP was the entity that operated a bunch of the indices that Vanguard funds tracked. Earlier this year, Vanguard announced that Morningstar would be added to the names of the various funds that track indices now run by Morningstar, previously run by CRSP. For example, the Vanguard Total Stock Market Index Fund would become the Vanguard Morningstar Total Stock Market Index Fund. It took effect last week. Now you know. Okay? You're welcome. So I came across a very interesting article by somebody who is known as Mr. Stingy. It's not me. My kids, if they're watching this, if they made it to this point in the show, which is highly doubtful, will think that I am Mr. Stingy, but it's not true. But Mr. Stingy writes, and he says certain things in life we have solutions to, but there's certain money issues that we can never create a solution for. And he gives 5 things, and I think it's fascinating. And he starts off, number 1, is nobody wants to get rich slowly, right? He says everybody wants to get rich fast. Usually portrayed as a bad thing, but maybe trying to get rich quick is default human nature. He says why our time on earth is limited. You want to live your life fully. You want to climb the stairs of Santorini when you're still fit and look reasonably hot in pictures, not travel Europe in a wheelchair when you're 90. He continues, however, we also know trying to get rich quick leads to poor decisions. Not a day goes by without me reading the news about some big investment scam. Okay? For sure, right? We've spoken about this a gazillion times, right? If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. I've spoken about all kinds of scams that have taken place. Israel is a big place where they prey, not spiritual, but fraud-like prayer, on people, because there are a lot of people here who dedicate their lives to studying ancient texts. They have families, they don't make very much money, and they're looking for anything possible to literally make money fast. I get calls all the time from people, yeah, I've got $100,000. Can you double it? I said, well, how about in like 7 to 10 years? And they started laughing at me. I go, how about in 18 months? We're making a wedding. Can you double the money for me in 18 months? I'll say, you got the wrong guy. Okay, that's just crazy. Okay, but people think that they can get rich quick, and they take unnecessary risks, and sometimes people are making bad decisions because they're desperate. Sometimes people make bad decisions because they think that they know better. But there's an easy way not to get rich quick, and that's just slow and steady, right? Invest in your portfolio. Don't try and pick individual stocks. Keep investing, keep adding to your savings, and you'll get there. It takes time, but you'll get there. Number 2, he says everyone wants to be the outlier. If you can't even beat the benchmark, for example, a broad market 60-40 index portfolio with your efforts, then why bother? So he says, this is good. My idealistic 30-year-old self would have immediately fought back with, because life is a daring adventure or nothing at all, because my past failures don't determine my future successes. Why be like everyone else who retire barely comfortable after 30 years of corporate salary? Even if there's a 1,000% chance to build generational wealth, I'm going to go for it. So I would say that there's a different reason, and it's because people think that they are smarter than everybody else, right? I have the system. I know what stocks to buy. People think for some reason that they've got the secret sauce. And I don't know, I don't think that we're ever going to get past that. People are more educated now, as you see, more money flowing into ETFs and indices. But there are people who I get calls, what stock do you recommend? As if I've got the secret sauce. So he says, here's a balanced approach. I like to think of 90% solutions as building the foundation to launch your moonshots from. Launch from a position of financial strength, not survival. Wisdom is understanding everyone is fighting similar battles and spectacular outcomes aren't guaranteed. By surviving and trying longer, your odds get better, right? That's why we invest for the long term. Over time, I don't know what's going to happen in the stock market today or tomorrow in the next week. I do know pretty much over time, based on history, time meaning 10, 20 years, that I should do okay. Of course, here we go. Past performance is no guarantee of future returns. Number 3 says you're always going to desire more. You could get to your level of wealth and then you want more. He says when you're 23, you think you'll get a Jaguar Carrera one day and it'll be enough. But after you buy it, your dealer starts educating you about Rolex submariners. Worth remembering that super wealthy people also struggle with this, and actually money problems we discussed today affect both the rich and the poor. He says one of the ways you can beat this need for more is practice gratitude for the blessings you already have, get better the art of comparison, e.g. comparing yourself to people richer than you, focus on things that money can't buy, health, love, and relationship with God. How many times have we spoken about that, right? Don't keep up with the Joneses. As it says in Ethics of the Father, who is rich? Who is the one who is happy with his lot. Those who constantly desire more and more and more, they're not happy. Right? You have to say, no mas, I'm happy. I've got what I need. That's what I need. And I'm grateful and I'm happy. Number 4, he says, the things that make you good with money can also make you bad with money. He says, in the crypto world, there's a concept called the 4-year cycle. Whether you believe it, I'll continue or not, historically, Bitcoin has reached a new high every 4 years. 2013, 2017, 2021, and 2025. On crypto Twitter, you'll hear amazing stories of people getting rich quick. In a bear market like now, though, you'll hear the flip side, people getting rich, then losing it all. And he brings this story. Consider the story of James Wynn. He reportedly turned $7,600 into $25 million on a meme coin in 2023, traded it up on leverage to $100 million in unrealized profits. Then it got liquidated, leaving only $900 in his account. That seems to actually, that's a few of them. That's like hoarding money, people who aren't happy, right? Got to make more and more and more and more and more. And they just can't say, wow, I've got enough. And then he says, times change everything, including your money problems. You go through different phases in life. What you want at 39 is different from what you want at 29. You used to want to travel the world. Now you want your kids to have the best daycare. There'll always be a new challenge to face, another peak to conquer. Guess what? You'll still have problems even if you have too much money. Consider what former U.S. President Richard Nixon once said. To me, the unhappiest people of the world are those in watering places, the international watering places like the south coast of France, going to parties, drinking too much, talking too much, thinking too little, retired, no purpose. I sort of like that, right? Your money problems won't ever get 100% solved, and that's okay. Finally, he says, solving money problems to 90th percent level is still a great foundation to build your life on. Only humanity prevents us from solving money problems completely. By understanding our irrational behaviors, we can build healthier relationships with money. We can fix the past, but we can get better for it. We can't fix the past, we can get better for the future. And he says, you'll always want more. You don't have to stop reaching for the sky. Just pull back before you fly too close to the sun. I think that you can look at things maybe a little different. I don't think that you can conquer the desire for wanting more. I think that at some point you can say, wow, I really am happy with what I have. Like I said, from Ethics of the Fathers, right? And view everything that I have as a blessing, right? And thank the Lord for whatever I have. I think that helps ground people, personally. That's what I think. I don't want to get too preachy religious, but I think that's not a bad approach. But these are 5 problems. I think you can fix a lot of them. A lot of it has to do with being satisfied with what you have. And what do they say? Sometimes the bears win, sometimes the bulls win, but the pigs get slaughtered, something like that, right? If you always want more and more and more and more, like the guy with the crypto who ended up losing it all, $100 million, just say no sometimes. Just say, that's enough. I'm out. You know what? And if it keeps going up, I could have made more money. Big deal. I have more money now than I ever will need in the rest of my life. You've been tuning to the Aaron Katsman Show. We speak to your life, your money, and your investments. If you like this content, please hit the like button below if you've not yet done so. Please subscribe to both the YouTube channel and to the podcast. And if you think somebody might find this of interest, why don't you go ahead and share it with them? Hit the share button, and you can share it with them as well. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll speak to you soon.